Hello everyone, and welcome back to Fun with Flags and History, where we delve into the significant events that have shaped the world. Today, we travel back in time to the turbulent period of the Russian constitutional crisis, which unfolded in the wake of the constitutional referendum of 1993. Check out the other videos in the description, of course, if you want to catch yourself up. This crisis marked a pivotal moment in Russia's political landscape, leading to a series of dramatic events, including the shelling of the White House. Join us as we explore this captivating chapter in Russian history. To understand the origins of the Russian constitutional crisis, link in the description below, we must first examine the context in which it emerged. In June of 1991, Boris Yeltsin, a prominent reformist politician, was elected as the first president of the Russian Federation, then known as the Russian Soviet Federative Socialist Republic. Yeltsin embarked on a path of democratic and economic reforms, aiming to transform Russia into a market-oriented nation. However, his reforms faced significant opposition from conservative elements within the Russian parliament, known then as the Supreme Soviet. In March of 1993, Yeltsin called for a constitutional referendum to legitimize his reform agenda and dissolve the existing parliament. The referendum, held on April 25th, asked the Russian people two crucial questions: whether they had confidence in Yeltsin's presidency, and whether they supported early parliamentary elections. The results of the referendum were striking. With a turnout of around 54%, a majority of voters expressed their confidence in Yeltsin and their desire for early elections. At least, seemingly. This outcome seemed to provide Yeltsin with a strong mandate to carry out his reforms and tackle the resistance he faced in the parliament. However, rather than accepting the referendum's outcome, the Supreme Soviet and its supporters, including hardline communists and nationalists, refused to recognize the legitimacy of the results. Sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
This set the stage for a power struggle between Yeltsin and the parliament, escalating tensions and culminating in a full-blown constitutional crisis. Protests erupted across Moscow as both sides mobilized their supporters. The situation grew increasingly volatile, with clashes between Yeltsin's supporters and those backing the parliament. As tensions escalated, Yeltsin issued a decree dissolving the parliament and calling for new elections to be held in December of 1993. The dissolution of the parliament sparked outrage amongst its supporters, who barricaded themselves inside the White House, the Russian parliament building. They declared their own alternative government, challenging Yeltsin's authority and deepening the constitutional crisis. The standoff between Yeltsin and the parliament lasted for months, with negotiations failing to resolve the impasse. The situation took a dramatic turn in early October 1993, when Yeltsin ordered the shelling of the White House. The Russian military launched an assault on the building, leading to fierce resistance from the defenders. The shelling of the White House resulted in tragic loss of life and widespread destruction. The image of the battered building and the violent clashes shocked the world, casting a dark shadow over Russia's democratic transition. Eventually, Yeltsin's forces prevailed, and the defenders of the parliament were forced to surrender. The Russian constitutional crisis of 1993 marked a significant turning point in the country's history. It solidified Yeltsin's grip on power and allowed him to push forward with his economic reforms. However, the events also raised concerns about the fragility of Russia's young democracy and the heavy-handed tactics employed to resolve political disputes. As we reflect on this chapter in Russian history, it serves as a reminder of the challenges faced by nations transitioning from authoritarian regimes to democratic systems. The Russian constitutional crisis, with its dramatic events and enduring impact, continues to be studied and analyzed, shedding light on the complexities of power struggles and the delicate balance between democracy and stability. In the aftermath of the crisis, Yeltsin's government faced both praise and criticism. Supporters argued that his actions were necessary to safeguard the democratic reforms and prevent a return to authoritarianism. Ironic, I know. They believed that the dissolution of the parliament and the shelling of the White House was unfortunate but unavoidable measures to maintain the momentum of change. On the other hand, critics contended that Yeltsin's actions undermined the principles of democracy and violated the Constitution. They argued that the use of force to resolve a political dispute set a dangerous precedent and weakened public trust in the democratic process. In the years following the crisis, Russia continued on its tumultuous path of political and economic transformation. Yeltsin's presidency faced numerous challenges, including widespread corruption, economic instability, and growing social inequality. Eventually, Yeltsin's popularity waned, leading to his resignation in 1999 and the election of Vladimir Putin, a then somewhat unknown figure that was the mayor of St. Petersburg at the time, eventually became president of Russia in 2000. The Russian constitutional crisis of 1993 remains a significant and controversial chapter in the country's history. It exposed the deep divisions within Russian society and highlighted the difficulties of establishing a stable democratic system in a post-Soviet era. Today, Russia continues to grapple with its political legacy and navigate the complexities of its democratic institutions. The events of the constitutional crisis serve as a constant reminder of the importance of open dialogue, compromise, and respect for democratic principles. As we conclude our journey through this turbulent period, we recognize that the Russian constitutional crisis of 1993 was a pivotal moment that shaped the course of Russia's history. It serves as a stark reminder that the establishment of democracy is an ongoing process, requiring continuous effort, vigilance, and a commitment to upholding the fundamental values of a free and inclusive society. Thank you for, of course, joining us on another chapter of the Russian constitutional crisis of 1993, as of course it took place 30 years ago today. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to support the channel, and also to see what's next on the channel. You definitely don't want to miss what's coming up next within Fun with Flags and History. Also, if you have any thoughts, comments, concerns, anything like that, leave your thoughts down below in the comments section. I read your comments after every single video that I make, and even on my off time, either at work or at school. So either way, your thoughts and that kind of thing always kind of intrigue me, even on the meme stuff that I make. So like I said, the support is heavily appreciated. And of course, you can check us out on Facebook if you're over the age of 40, I guess, or a boomer. I really don't care. But of course, if you're a Zoomer, like me, you can always check out our TikTok page, where it's full of memes and historical content, and who knows, maybe I'll even upload there if they allow videos longer than 10 minutes. But anyways, this is of course Frank with Fun with Flags and History, signing off. Have yourself a good one, and of course, keep exploring history.